Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston. I am Dr. Mariane Pinkston, and I am with Ray Solano, who is up in Cedar Park, Texas, with PD Labs, my favorite compounding pharmacy in the world, my favorite person in the world. Good morning, Ray. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And I'm really excited because you and I were just sitting here brainstorming, and we came up with a great thought here about doing a simple approach to medicine. I think everybody has gotten very complicated in their reading on Google and trying to mix up all the information out there. And I think we've gotten off the mark. And so the brilliant guy that you are, want to talk about a simple approach to medicine. I think we've got magnesium and heart health this morning. What do you think? Does that sound like a good topic for us to jump on today?
Well, I think so. What we do see a surge in some of these very serious illnesses. We see a surge in clotting factors and heart disease. We see a huge increase in seem to be resolved cancers and diabetes, and it seems to be some of the after effects of these RNA. The coronavirus is causing havoc in our immune system.
Absolutely.
So without getting complicated, we started to look around and try to understand how we can improve our health on a very simple approach.
Absolutely.
And so because people are getting so inundated with complex pharmaceuticals and complex solutions, we just got to get down to the basics. And we started uncovering that some of the things were just the cheaper they are and have been around the longest is usually the best answer.
Right.
And one of the things that we've seen is, something that's been going on for quite a while is the use of aspirin has been considered and debunked, and it says that it's good to take a baby aspirin, and it's not good. You don't take it for a fever because it causes Raynaud syndrome. Then you do take it, and so the average person goes, it can't figure all this out. So
right.
we find that. It is something more of, it was a miracle drug when it was first introduced. And they are finding now that aspirin has the same clotting factors as a very expensive drug, Xarelto, for reducing clots. So it has a tremendous benefit for reducing the clotting factors or risks of clotting. And it's a simple aspirin, and it stops this overexpressions of cytokines when fever. So, dust off that old bottle of aspirin.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to take it. And so that's something, or buffered aspirin is very popular. So that's simple, and it's very inexpensive because these drugs are getting way too out of hand.
Absolutely. And, and so is the information that we're inundated with, off the internet. I mentioned that at the very beginning because I spend so much time on a daily basis. Every single patient I see, says, well, I read, or I've been studying, or I've been listening, and there's a million podcasts, there's a million different pieces of information, and a lot of it is anecdotal. It's not really study based. I tell people, go to Google Scholar, look at the things that are published out there. Don't look at the anecdotal information that anybody can interpret and publish and put out and say and do. And so I think if we can,
that's a great website, Google Scholar.
Google Scholar, and get people redirected into the right, because people want to read, they want to learn. That's great and fine. I encourage it. But people are getting, a little bit too in depth on things that aren't really scientifically based. And then you've got the flip side of things that people are led down the wrong highway based on things like the pharmaceutical industry or whatnot, who are, trying to sell their information. It's, I know that a lot of pharmaceutical companies are trying to be very scientific about what they do. I mean, I know a lot of people in the industry, and I think there is some good intention there, but at the bottom of it all really is money. And
it's a lot of money.
A lot of money. And they try to lead people down their road of thinking, their line of thinking, in order to keep them on that path. And so aspirin, how simple is that? I think
how simple is that? And then also, there's one thing I didn't know about is it increases the oxidation of glucose.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
And lowers the dangerous omega-6 fats. Right. This is the foundation of the problem. The omega-6 fats, that's what we have in junk food, causes so much of this inflammatory conditions that leads to atherosclerosis. And we eat way too much. There's this ratio of omega-3s and omega-3 and omega-6. And aspirin reduces that. So I think that's important. It lowers that baseline cortisol. So it is one of the list on the favorites.
Right.
So, and then the other one that Jim Laval told me about many, many years ago is magnesium. Right. And magnesium, and some people believe it's the second most abundant mineral in your body, or in others it's the fourth. I don't want to argue about, but it is one of the most important nutrients you can have. And so if you have one thing you have to take every day, okay, I think it's probably magnesium if you have to be able to go through the stresses of your day, because it's involved in 600 chemical reactions.
Crazy, wow.
And so it's inexpensive, okay? Yes. It's easily abundant. Most people eat food that is not fresh, and so it's not available in your normal diet. So that is, some people say, well, I have it in my multivitamin. Well, if you did have it in your multivitamin, you'd be taking 4 of them a day, because it's a very large molecule.
Exactly.
So you usually don't get enough. So this makes it simple. How do you know if you're magnesium deficient? And one of the hallmark signs is cramping.
Right.
Charley horses, leg cramps, restless legs, eyes twitching,
headaches.
Yeah. So it's simple, and I think it's very common today.
Yeah.
So I would definitely include a magnesium supplement. 3 and 8 is one salt form that gets absorbed very quickly. Glycinate is one that helps with sleep. So take 2 of them every night. You'll be surprised how you wake up in the morning. And the worst thing that could happen, okay, is it would stop possibly constipation.
Right.
Okay, so where we have 50% of the population does have a problem with detoxifying, that this is also a great benefit. Yeah. So just take a couple of magnesium every day and you'll be surprised and see what happens. The thing is not overnight. It takes a couple of days sometimes for the full effect to get into the cells.
Right.
So I think it increases the energy occurrence, across the cells as well, and also works on the mitochondria. It springs out here. Think about those mitochondria cells that just need to blossom and be able to replicate. So
absolutely,
it's simple.
It is. And a lot of people will ask me to check their magnesium levels. And I've said this before, but the thing about checking magnesium levels is once you have a magnesium deficiency enough to be abnormal on your laboratory, you're in real danger.
That's right.
Your body has to maintain a normal magnesium level to keep you alive, to keep your heart going, to keep you alive. So you really can't have a magnesium deficiency in the blood. Now, if you are normal in the blood, but you're not taking enough, you're not eating enough magnesium, or you're not taking enough to keep your levels elevated, then your body is going to steal it from your muscles and your bones, your organs, in order to keep those blood levels up. So when we check your blood and it's normal, you're like, well, my magnesium levels are just fine. No, you're probably very deficient in your tissues because your lab, values have to be normal. So I don't even check lab values for magnesium because it really doesn't tell you about how much magnesium you have on board. I automatically assume everybody's deficient. Like you say, we don't eat enough fresh fruits and vegetables. Not that it's in our fruits and vegetables anymore anyway, with our growing practices and all. So people really think, checking your blood levels is a good thing. It's really, really not. It's very, very, it'll take you away from focusing on what's important and the fact that you probably are deficient regardless of what your blood levels look like.
Well, and also the telltale sign is people with low potassium and low sodium levels.
Right.
Okay, will also have a telltale sign that your magnesiums are low. So just like you just said, but your red blood cell, RBC, red blood cell magnesium levels may not show, but the other ones are show because they're the sodium and potassium levels. So that's also something to look at because the two of them one hand in glove. So is it simple? Yes. Is it inexpensive? Yes. There's many different forms. If you can't take pills, there's liquids that are out there. There's even topicals. Right. So it's in a bath. That's Epsom bath. So it's on my list of the top simple ones that we are looking at on a daily basis. Cheap, inexpensive, and it's fundamental.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, 600 different effects in the body. So I know most people do have a problem with, constipation, fatigue, muscle spasm, headaches, leg cramps, things like that. And find many people when they come to the clinic having leg cramps at night will tell me their doctor put them on a pharmaceutical to stop leg cramping. And really, I found years ago, if I just put people on magnesium in the various forms we mentioned, that, that stops that and takes care of it. Again, just more simple, more inexpensive, more straightforward, and getting to the heart of what's going on instead of putting a Band-Aid on something. And that's what
and some foods have great amount of magnesium. Raw cacao has nibs. Raw cacao nibs are bitter, but they have a lot of a lot of magnesium in them. Pumpkin seeds not only have a good amount of potassium, but they also have good amount of magnesium. So there's some of these seeds and nuts, just like you said, have a good source of magnesium as well. So just add those simple things to your diet is also something good. But unfortunately, some people say, well, I can't take magnesium because it upsets me, or I have it causes a stomach ache. Well, therein lies the problem, is that you don't have the correct enzyme balance to absorb that important critical mineral and others. So you have to fix the problem with the gut, which is another conversation. Yes. But it tells me that if you're not absorbing that mineral, you're not going to absorb fats. So you have some leaky gut and have some dysbiosis going on with your gut that have to be fixed.
Right, which we work on all the time, and magnesium is an important part of that too, fixing your gut and the microbiome or the bacterial growth that is going on there to absorb it correctly and use. The gut is at the heart of everything, and we could spend an entire show on that one, couldn't we? We should probably at some point. As far as that's concerned, is there?
How you as people go into your office, how you can see very carefully if they have a mineral deficiency or have a gut problem with the minerals. Look at their nails.
Right.
Men have real nails, you guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way that I can hide that very well, but you're right.
Ridges in their nails, disfigured nails, or a gut and a mineral deficiency. So you're just not absorbing them. So just adding some enzymes with every meal or with your shakes is something that's simple. So we talked about aspirin, we talked about magnesium, some simple enzymes. I think these are some of the things we could just start on and improve people's health.
Absolutely. We hit so many points on that. We hit heart health, we hit gut health, we hit, muscle and energy and balance and all those issues. But just a couple of very simple and inexpensive things right there.
And if you're taking a pharmaceutical, you have a 80% chance you're reducing your magnesium stores.
Absolutely. Especially if you're taking an antacid for your stomach, something like Nexium, omeprazole, pantoprazole, things, Protonix, things like that.
And many of the antidepressants reduce magnesium as well. So if you're taking a prescription medication, you probably should be taking a magnesium as well. How's that?
Absolutely. There you go. I'm sure you have some that you offer. Tell me about getting in touch with you and how people can find some good gut health, magnesium, things like that, information and all with PD Labs.
Yeah, check out our website, pdlabsrx.com, pdlabsrx.com. And also you can call us at 512-219-0724, and option 2, you can call and ask for me or one of our other clinical pharmacists at our clinic as well. And Laval Performance Health Clinic is 512-219-0782. We've got a clinic that's specially trained for lifestyle medicine practitioners that are clued in on how to get to the root cause of many of these conditions. So LavalPerformanceHealth.com.
Yep, that's awesome. And you can find all of that information, of course, on my website and many of our past shows. Ray, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, I think.
That's right.
And so we've got a show once a month that we have put on, so people can go to drpbetterlife.com and find. I'm getting ready to have a new website, so I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
But you can find all of my past guests, past shows, and almost 100 of them now, and have any platform that we are on for Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and there are just so many different platforms, Amazon, Google, all of that, YouTube. So drpbetterlife.com. You can definitely find out more about Ray, all of our past shows, and more simple steps to taking better care of your health. We've talked about a lot of things. So we are going to take a short break and come back on the other side, talk about more. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Ray Solano with your Healthy Choices Minute, sponsored by Prescription Dispensing Labs. New research has concluded that implementing dietary changes could prevent gut inflammatory processes involved in some chronic diseases. Modulation of your gut microbes through diets enriched with vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and a higher intake of plant over animal foods has a potential to prevent intestinal inflammatory conditions at the core of many chronic diseases. In short, the foods we eat in our dietary patterns have a major influence on our immune system that can cause many conditions we are suffering from today. Solution: try our OptiMeal shake. Our team has developed the best tasting, healthiest shake you've ever experienced to control blood sugar and to improve your gut. Start your day today with a healthy choice. Call us today at 888-909-0110 for a free sample of the OptiMeal shake. 888-909-0110. Remember, you have a choice in healthcare.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Mariane Pinkston here with Ray Solano from PD Labs and pdlabsrx.com. We are talking about simple approaches to taking care of your health. We've hit on quite a few topics this morning. I love it, Ray, but I think something that has been important to me lately that I've been trying to figure out even for myself. So yes, doctors have, health issues too. Many people know about my history, losing weight and my trouble with autoimmune and diabetes and things like that. Recently had atrial fibrillation from COVID. I'm convinced that's what it was. And had an ablation, therefore had some anesthesia. And I do believe that this has hit my system where now I'm having blood sugar issues and my resting heart rate and all these metabolic issues. Now I'm metabolically inflamed when I've worked for 5 years so hard to be healthy. I think you and I have figured out that maybe I'm not detoxing some of the anesthesia and some of the, previous things that health-wise have hit me. So what am I going to do, Ray? Tell me how to fix myself.
Well, I think the important detoxification organs are your kidneys and liver.
Right.
And so we got to get those superfoods, nutrients to those areas. And I think there's supplements you can take, milk thistle, inexpensive,
right,
simple.
Right.
That is one of the foundations for support of liver, detoxification of liver. But it's important that when we talk about this word detoxification, because we see it everywhere, detox this, detox that, buzzwords. If you don't have the mechanisms or the lymphatic drainage and everything open, you'll make yourself sick.
Yes.
So that's why you have to get with a trained professional before you use this, because if you're taking the trash out, there's no place for the trash to go. Exactly. It stays in your body. So what used to be in a safe place is now just stuffed into areas that are causing more problems than you started with. So you got to have the elimination pathways. You got to be going to the bathroom properly. You have to have your skin, which is the best detoxification organ, has to be opened up. Infrared saunas are great for this. Also, detoxification baths are good to be open up those channels. So it's important to eliminate if you detoxify.
Right.
So you have to do a combination of both. So those are some of the things. You have to have good circulation. Yes. Okay. To be able to do that. So it's not just simply drink something, all of a sudden you're
exactly
you're detoxified, because you could get sick.
You could. And something you said that was very, very important about, taking the trash out, but your trash can is full, but you're not necessarily emptying those trash cans. People, when they look at detoxes, they'll buy anything. I mean, detox is such a buzzword, and that really plays on people's hopes that they're going to, improve their body. They concentrate only on the liver. You're right. There's so many more effective areas that help us to detoxify, cleansing our colon, our skin. Water is probably, and exercise are probably two of the best, safest detoxifiers that there are out there for cleaning our system. And so patients will spend so much money on any kind of supplement that they can take in order to detoxify, not realizing that if they do not get their liver prepared, once your liver starts to take all these toxins out of your muscles, out of your bones, out of the blood, and you have to get, you have to change them into something that the body can actually eliminate and get rid of. They don't just steal the toxin and then get rid of it. It has to actually work on it and change it into something that your body can, eliminate. It can get backed up if you are not working on the organs that need to metabolize that and eliminate it. So you're got two different steps there that you've got to work on, not just one. Please don't spend all of your money on, things that are advertised so easily out there, detox and those buzzwords like that. Please be very, very careful. You do need guidance to do that correctly and safely. You can make yourself very, very sick. And people don't realize either that once they start a detox process, sometimes they're going to feel a lot worse before they feel better. And so you expect to take something and then the next day you feel wonderful. Doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes as the toxins are coming into your system and you're getting ready to get rid of it, that's increasing in your bloodstream and in your body, your tissues, and you're going to feel a little bit worse before you feel better. Those are two of the highlights that I see people mistakes that I see people make.
Well, check out our website, pdlabsrx.com. It's got a treasure trove of information, podcasts, research articles that we have put together some white papers on our specialty pharmaceutical compounds, personalized medicine, because that's what we want people to do. Personalize their healthcare, personalize their prescriptions, personalize their supplements, because everybody's different.
Absolutely. You need your own recipe, and
that's right.
You can get through pdlabsrx.com and through the Laval Performance Health Center, which you guys are building up there in Cedar Park. It's coming along.
That's right. It is coming along. It's going to be a center of excellence that we feel people from all over are going to be coming, because it's going to be one-stop shopping for everything.
Absolutely, and very, very highly personalized, which I am honored to be a part of. I am.
Yes, there we go.
And this has been a great love child for you and for Jim Laval, and I'm very excited you guys are putting this together. So you guys can find information and all of these different products and things that we have talked about today. pdlabsrx.com. But again, you can go to my site at drpbetterlife.com. Find all of the platforms that we are on, including SiriusXM, that you have the Healthy Choices Network. And so lots of great people on that, including our show, which is wonderful. You and I have recorded many shows now for the last 2 years, and everybody can find all that information again at drpbetterlife.com. But again, I'm always amazed how people can call the pharmacy and actually still speak to a human being, still speak to the owner of the company, Ray Solano, who is always happy to visit with people. So you can definitely call the pharmacy. Give us the number one more time, Ray.
That's 512-219-0724. And you may hold on for a few minutes, but we've got an excellent on-hold educational brief. So you'll learn more and maybe have a snippet from this show as well.
Absolutely. So, Ray, thank you so much. We are going to join again in a couple of weeks and have more simple tips and topics about taking care of your health. And Ray, thank you again for joining me as always. I hope everybody.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week. pdlabsrx.com, drpbetterlife.com.